It's way past bedtime for the rest of the world. Welcome to the Late Night Show with Candice Ayala.
Today we're talking with Nicole Smith, who is also one of our Upcycling Challenge Season 2 participants. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
So we're just going to jump right into it. This special is going to be all about upcycling. So we're going to talk a little bit about upcycling. But first, I want to know, when did sewing find you?
It actually found me just 2.5 years ago. It was something that I had seen my mom do when I was younger, but I never had the patience to learn.
Okay.
Of course, I thought I thought the only way to sew was, by patterns. So I didn't have the patience for that.
Yeah, well, and especially as a beginner sewer, you have to have a lot of patience, because if it doesn't work out the first time, you gotta do it over until you get it.
And I'm not going to say the first time I got the machine now, it was like, full force, this and that. No, I got mad. I put it up. It sat, in the room for I don't know how long. And I'm like, I'm going to get it back out and try it again. And, I'd probably get frustrated and put it back again. So.
Were you sewing for yourself, or were you making like household items?
Well, actually what started was, I'm sure it was probably something I seen on Pinterest. And I had my first granddaughter at that point. And so I was seeing where they were taking, daddy's shirt or grandpa's shirt and making skirts or dresses. And so I was like, I'm going to tackle that. So that was really my first project.
So your first project was an upcycle?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So then that answers my second question, because my second question was going to be, when did you start upcycling?
Yes. Actually, I have never sewn with a pattern until just spring, this past spring. And it was my first one, and I can say that I accomplished it with like almost zero mistakes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Was it a pattern for your granddaughter?
No, actually, it was for myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made a top for myself with darts in it and all that. So I was pretty darn proud of myself.
Very cool. So do you take grandpa's shirts to make stuff for your granddaughter?
Well, it's actually, yes, I have. I've done that. I've taken fabric. My grandmother passed away several years ago, and they are like going through her things. And my grandmother was a sewer.
Okay.
And I know that that's what I'm doing now. So they gave me a lot of vintage fabric. Is like 30 plus years.
Oh, wow.
Old. And so I have made my granddaughter Mabel things from my grandmother's stashes. So I feel they're heirlooms.
Right. So that's what, 4 generations?
Let's see.
3 generations?
No, my granddaughter would be 4.
Okay, yeah.
And so anyway, it's kind of turned into, that's kind of my platform, my backing with the little business that I've started. Instead of people getting rid of loved ones' things, if there's something that has a meaning or this and that, keep it until, you find a way that you want to reuse it, whether it's an apparel or a pillow, or want to give it to your grandchild,
Okay, so I know upcycling can be a challenging art, especially if you've never done it before or you want to start for the first time. Is there anything you've discovered on your journey that has made upcycling easier for you now than when you first started?
Yes. It's almost like an obsession. If I see, like if I'm shopping or if I see something somebody's wearing, I'll be like, can I look at that seam, or can I, now when I see things, I will examine, or I will see one piece and that piece and think, oh gosh, I could cut that off and I can add that. So I guess just looking at today's fashion, I examine, and then a lot of times in my head, I will put it together.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So like you feel like you can deconstruct and reconstruct back in your mind. Yes. Kind of feels like a superpower. Yeah, that's happened to me before. It's kind of cool.
Yep.
Okay, so now what made you join the Upcycling Challenge this year? Had you ever heard of the Upcycling Challenge before?
Honestly, I don't know how I discovered it. I mean, obviously I discovered you, and maybe that's how it is. Maybe I discovered you, and then seeing that you had the Upcycle Challenge, and I went through and just read 2018. And then of course I looked at everybody's recreations, and I just thought, with me just starting out, I feel like just jumping into it as a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself.
Okay. And it is a challenge. So tell us where we can find you online or learn more about you.
I am on Facebook. My little business name is 1571 Recreations.
Okay.
I am also on Instagram under the same thing, 1571 Recreations. And then I have a website. It is the same thing, 1571recreations.com, obviously.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit more about your business.
Well, it's one of those.
If I'm a customer and I want to make, and I have a shirt from my dad and I want to make something out of it, how do we have that conversation?
A lot of times they will personally message me. Mm-hmm. And then we will either converse back and forth that way, or we make a phone call. And a lot of times I'll ask them, what they're wanting. Is it something that you want to make it to where you can wear? Is it something you want to have it personable to be able to, have to hug with? Or is it something you want to pass on? So we just kind of narrow it down, and then if it's an apparel, then I will ask them, do they have anything else to add to it? Whether, again, that's when they can start grabbing it from, if they have something from a grandmother or something of their own that they want to coordinate with it, to make it an apparel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for answering these questions today and for joining me here. It was a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you.
All right. So if you want to follow us along on the Upcycling Challenge, you can follow Nicole at 1571 Recreations. We'll talk to you guys next week.